Hello students, welcome to all of you. In my previous lecture, you have studied about atoms, definition of atoms, what are examples of atoms, and some laws related to the atoms, means law of chemical combination. There were two laws, in which first was law of conservation of mass, that was given by English scientist Antonio Lavoisier in 1774, and this law is explained with activity in previous lecture. In today's lecture and in the continuation of the same chapter, atom and molecules, we are going to learn other law of chemical combination, that is law of constant proportion, which is also known as law of definite proportion. So what is the statement of this law? This law states that in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in a definite proportion by mass. Means the chemical composition of the compound is definite. According to this law, in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in a definite or constant proportion by mass. Means that chemical composition of the compound is definite. So this is the statement of law of constant proportion or law of definite proportion, and this law was given by French chemist Joseph Prout in 1779. This law was given by French chemist Joseph Prout in 1779, and according to the law of constant proportion or law of definite proportion, in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in a definite proportion or constant proportion by mass. Means that chemical composition of the compound is definite or constant. For example, in water, that is H2O, composed of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. In water, H2O, this is composed of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. There are two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom, and they always combine together in a definite ratio 1:8 by mass. Means there are 2 atoms of hydrogen, means 2 into 1, and there is 1 atom of oxygen and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So ratio become hydrogen and oxygen in the composition of water is 2:16. This can be written as 2:16, and in simplest way this is become 1:8. Means dividing these two ratio by simple number 2, you will get 1:8, and this is the statement of this law. In a water molecule, this composed of 2 elements, hydrogen and oxygen, and they always combine in a different ratio 1:8 by mass. This is the statement. This is according to the statement. Students, pure water obtained by any source, that is either by rain, either by river, or by hand pump, or by sea, or by pond, means whatever the source by which water is obtained, no matter, they always combine in the ratio 1:8, means 1:8 by mass, means their combination ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in the obtaining of water is always 1:8 by mass. This is the means of this law. I taking one simple example, students. You have heard the name of this very compound, that is carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is obtained by any source, that is either by the burning of carbon with air, you are getting here CO2. Similarly, other source by which carbon dioxide may be obtained. So by heating calcium carbonate, that will change into CaO, and CO2 you are getting here carbon dioxide. Some other resources by which this CO2 may be obtained, that is by suppose heating sodium bicarbonate. By heating sodium bicarbonate, you are getting sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and water. So students, you are observing that whatever the source by which CO2 is obtained, either by burning of carbon, either by decomposition of calcium carbonate or CaCO3, or by decomposition of sodium carbonate, in all the cases you are getting CO2, and here CO2 is composed of 2 types of elements, that is carbon and oxygen. Carbon and oxygen, and there are 1 atom of carbon and there are 2 atoms of oxygen. Okay, so according to this rule, they will always combine together in a definite proportion. So you are knowing that the atomic mass of carbon is 12 and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So if you write it in simple way, that becomes 12:32. So in CO2 compound or CO2 molecule, the ratio of carbon and oxygen elements, they will combine together always in a definite proportion by mass, means 12, their combination ratio will be 12:32. Or in simplest way, this can be written as, that is 3:8, means dividing this 12 and 32 by a simple number 4, you will get the ratio between carbon and oxygen will be 3:8. This is 3:8, means in carbon dioxide CO2, the combination of elements carbon and oxygen will be always in the ratio 3:8 by mass, whatever the source by which CO2 is obtained no matter there is a combination of CO2, means what they are containing the elements, they will always combine together in a fixed ratio or definite ratio, that is 3:8 by mass. So this is in accordance with the law of content proportion or law of definite proportion. For your convenience, students, I am taking one more simple example. I think by these two example matter is clear. I am taking one simple example. Children, you have heard the name of this very compound. This is called ammonia. Do you want to take any tension? Very simple. Only go on definition. If definition you are learning properly, you can explain the matter very simply. So ammonia, this is NH3, and you are looking that in ammonia molecule or ammonia compound, two elements, nitrogen and hydrogen are present. Nitrogen and hydrogen are present, and they are combined together to form ammonia in a according to this law will be 14:3. They always combine together to form a ammonia molecule will be 14:3 by mass. How? So let's see here. You are knowing that this is nitrogen and this is joining with 3, combining with 3 atom of hydrogen. This ammonia molecule is formed by the combination of 1 nitrogen element and 3 hydrogen element, and you are knowing that the atomic mass of nitrogen is a 14 and atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So this may be simply written as 14:3. So according to this law, in ammonia molecule, the ratio of nitrogen and hydrogen will be 14:3 by mass, whatever the source by which ammonia is obtained, no matter. They always combine in a definite proportion 14:3 by mass, and this is in accordance with the law of content proportion or definite proportion. Clear, student? So on the basis of these two laws, some numericals are given in your book. So you solve it, you try to solve it. If not able to understand, I will discuss them one by one. And one point I want to discuss, that many times the name is coming element. So what is an element? So students, element is a pure substance which is composed of same type of atoms and cannot be further divided into simpler substances by any physical or chemical means, is called element. Alright? Just I writing the definition of element, children. Element. So an element is a pure substance an element is a pure substance and composed of same type of atoms, and it cannot be further divided in any simpler substance, by any physical or chemical means, by any physical or chemical means is called an element. So this is the definition of element, and you are knowing the example of many more elements. You have heard the name of element gold. So gold symbol is Au. You have heard the name of element silver. Silver symbol is Ag. Much simplest example of element. You have also heard the name of copper, symbol Cu. Much simple example of element. You have heard the name of aluminium, that is symbol Al. Similarly, you have heard the name of element iron, symbol Fe. Similarly, you have heard the name of inert elements like helium, symbol He, and neon, Na, etc. And many 118 elements are known. So at least you have to learn 40 elements. Must remember the full names of 40 elements along with their symbol, and what is the atomic number and what is the mass of that elements. That will be very important for you for the study of other points of this chapter, because we are studying atom and molecules, and many more things will come concerned to elements. So must remember elements up to 1 to 40 along with their symbol, and knowing their what is atomic number and what is the atomic mass of that element. Okay. So next point you have to study in this chapter is Dalton's. What is Dalton's atomic theory? So Dalton atomic theory is the proof, or you can say verification of law of chemical combination. Dalton atomic theory is the verification of, that is, law of chemical combinations, and the law of chemical combinations in which one is law of conservation of mass, and second is law of definite proportion or constant proportion. So these laws were verified by Dalton's atomic theory. So what is Dalton atomic theory, and what are the main postulates of Dalton atomic theory, that will discussed in next class. Okay, student? So all right, thank you.